Hello. How's it going, people? Welcome to the stream. Welcome. Friday is here, Friday the 14th of November. International break has kicked into gear with the last qualifiers for World Cup. Some interesting results, some surprising results, but to be honest, I'm not gonna lie, kind of don't care about that at the moment because still, for me, it's all about Arsenal. And today on the cards, we're gonna talk about Arsenal's path to the title. The 7 fixes, in my opinion, obviously, that can change everything for Arsenal. The 7 things that Arsenal need to follow, manage, play closer attention to, basically, to give them their best chance to win the league and maybe win something more, right? Give me a sec. Yeah, or something. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's definitely gonna be debatable because people might disagree, people might agree. Depends how it goes. But ultimately, yeah, like the stream, subscribe to the channel. I almost forgot what I wanted to say. And yeah, I think we're not gonna drag this too long. Let's get straight into it. Big up Mubarak, big up, which all Arsenal injuries boost. I had the capacity to go through all 7 matches with victory, potentially. We should, but will we? That's the other thing. Big up Quadja. Hope you're doing well today, my bro. Big up. Smash the likes and subscribe, people. 7 likes so far. Keep smashing them, people. Keep smashing them at a rapid rate. 10 likes ASAP. Let's do this, people. England 2-0. Serbia second. Eze with the goals. Arsenal players are on the score sheet yesterday. Yeah, they were. Saka scored a brilliant goal. I'm not gonna lie, that volley, obviously on his strong foot, fantastic. But Eze scored, and Eze came on as a substitute for Rashford as well. And Tuchel, to some extent, kind of showed how good Eze could be. He showed the potential that Eze could get. Obviously, he subbed him off for Rashford. It was more left wing, but it was more of a free roam type of left wing, similar what Glasner used. And it was showing some very good glimpses of hope. And the interesting part for me in this is whether Arteta is going to take some notes over that. Is Arteta going to take some notes, or as soon as Odegaard is back, he's going to go in the 10 and Eze is going to go left wing or hold the bench? That is the only thing that's basically at the moment in my mind, at least personally, because Eze hasn't been great in the 10 for Arsenal overall since Odegaard has gone out. So definitely there are some question marks. We need first to win the 25-26 Carabao Cup, winning mentality going, and then win the Premier League. That would be the ideal scenario. First things first, win the Carabao Cup. Then you know how winning tastes like. You know how trophies taste like. Winning breeds winning, and that definitely could give us the second win to basically spur us forward into maybe another trophy this season for sure. But that's, again, we need to. But will we? Of course, this will give us huge, exactly. It will give a huge confidence boost. It will give us also experience, maturity, which obviously this club doesn't have. They haven't won anything as a unit together. They don't know what it takes. And if winning that one trophy, definitely could change a lot. I have seen Arsenal win 4 trophies in my lifetime, 4 FA Cups. Yeah, that's nuts, to be honest. 4 FA Cups only. I have seen Arsenal win 2 Premier Leagues and 6 FA Cups. Also, nothing great, to be honest, but at the same time, 2 Premier Leagues, that is fantastic. Let's be real. I would love for Arsenal to win the Carabao Cup, Champions League, and the Premier League for the first time in my lifetime. 100%. Do a treble. That would be insane, to be honest. That would be absolutely insane. Big up, Wahaha. Hope you're doing well today. Hope United is treating you well in this international break. Big up, Darren. Hope you're doing well. Arsenal's path to the title, so it's a history lesson tonight. No, it's not. We're going to talk about the future. We're definitely going to talk about the future because we cannot dwell on the past. We can learn from the past, but we shouldn't dwell on it because the past is something that is a learning curve for the future. At the same time, if you hold on to the past for too long, it's something that is holding you back into the future. And big up Darren as well. Hope you are doing well today, my brother. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, for today, I have 7 things listed basically in a list in no specific order. Personally, for me, in no specific order. Sorry, my camera just disappeared. In no specific order. Will it focus? No, it's not going to focus. God damn it. In no specific order, in terms of that Arsenal should be paying closer attention to. 7 key factors that gonna play potentially, in my opinion. So don't go doing all this weird stuff, of course. That Arsenal could need to win the league potentially and win something more. And first things first, what we're gonna start off with is maintain the level. Maintain the level we have displayed this season. Yes, the football hasn't been the greatest, but the level we have maintained in terms of scoring certain goals with the defense, more specifically as well, defense, this goes on top of that, is one of the key aspects for Arsenal to achieve anything this season, in my opinion. The Sunderland game, as if it's just a one-off, technically speaking, it's a blip in this road, right? It's a bump in the road. Now, the question is, will this team learn from this? Or will this be a reason for a team to go on a downward spiral? How will they bounce back against Spurs? How that's going to affect their season coming straight after international break? For me, that is one of the key aspects, maintaining the level, because the defensive level we maintained before that Sunderland game definitely was insane to even think about. The clean sheets, barely allowing shots and everything. That is the level we should be trying to maintain every single game as the highest standard possible. Then we can go and try and score from open play, set pieces, whatever comes around, and go for it. Obviously, I'm not saying be cowards like we were against Liverpool and stuff like that, but going for it. And obviously, don't be cowards against Sunderland. But for now, since the game against Sunderland, technically speaking, is just one bump in the road, I would actually say that it's just a blip. Genuinely, it's just a blip. Obviously, as I said before in the beginning, the performances have not been great. They have not been fantastic and very exciting to watch, right? At the same time, it got us the results. For me, it was always the situation that whether the results will catch up to performances or performances will catch up to the results. And so far, that one Sunderland game definitely has put a spanner in the works. It has been a bit of a reality check in certain aspects, but how it's gonna basically influence our season going forwards, that definitely is gonna be a very, very interesting aspect of that. Definitely gonna be a very interesting key part of the season. Sorry, but I think Zubimendi is massively overrated. I wouldn't say Zubimendi is massively overrated, but the expectations that were set for him when we just signed him, when some Arsenal fans basically were screaming and saying that he was better than Thomas Partey, that he's 1-for-1 Thomas Partey replacement, I totally disagreed with. There's no argument that Zubimendi is a good player, but I think with Zubimendi's signing, we definitely have made our midfield weaker to a certain extent. We don't have that physicality. We don't have that general in the midfield. There was a reason why many people called in Arsenal's fan base Thomas Partey the general, because he was actually that good. He commanded that midfield. Obviously, Zubimendi is still during the games make tackles. He wins the tackles. He fights. He battles. He gives away some weird fouls. Yes, he lost a battle in the key aspects when we have conceded goals. But I don't think he is as bad of a player as people want him people are portraying him to be. He's not great, but he's also not as bad. Let's just put it that way. He's still full assessment. For me personally, still up to judgment, because there have been some good games where he has had, but overall, definitely it's been quite underwhelming. For the hype that most of the fan base basically put up for him, definitely he hasn't lived up to it, for me personally. I always maintain the level that he is not Thomas Partey's replacement, but he is definitely an improvement on Jorginho. It's something in between. It's a bit of a downgrade on Thomas Partey. At the same time, it's an improvement on Jorginho. It's something like that. But at this stage, definitely, it took us all a decade pretty much to replace Patrick Vieira at Arsenal, right? And if it's going to take another decade to find another physical, actually holding number 6 type of player, it's not going to be great. Yes, we have won games with 3-8s and all this stuff, but yeah, I don't think long-term it's going to pay its dividends. Hence why, for me, signing Palhinha, for example, would have been the ideal solution for the number 6 role. That physical imposer that definitely is a general in defense. Plus, as we have seen, he can score goals. He's very good on set pieces as well, which also begs the question why we didn't sign Palhinha, because it was on loan, first of all. And if we wanted to sign him, it's only like 25 quid, basically speaking. It's like 25 million. And He bosses the midfield and everything. Arsenal were interested in him when he was at Fulham. He went to obviously to Bayern. His career didn't pan out there as he obviously expected and wished it to be. So maybe we should have signed also Paulinho for that midfield. Maybe instead of Merino, we should have gone Paulinho. Maybe we should have signed Zubimendi and Paulinho, especially since it was only a loan deal for sure. Zubimendi, yeah, definitely he has had a disappointing start. Maybe not overall, but in the key moments in specific situations where basically it has been demanded for him to be at his best of his abilities, to be the guy, to be the main guy, to basically make that decisive tackle, to win that decisive battle, definitely he has let the team down to a certain extent, which obviously doesn't bode well long term. Definitely does not bode well long term in this regard. Big Apanjo, Zubimendi are Bernardo Silva, but in midfield plays everywhere in the pitch, but it's not doing the golden bits. Jack of all trades, master in none. He's not the party replacement and never was. Yeah, for me, definitely not. Definitely for me, he was not. I think we shifted from that type of 6 in midfield. Yeah, which also kind of raised the question why we don't try Rice there, why we didn't sign a proper number 6. Maybe Arteta doesn't want a proper number 6 in that regard, right? For me, playing Rice in the 6 would make a lot of sense. Zubimendi in the 8. The thing about Zubimendi in the 8, though, is he cannot do what Rice does in that 8. He doesn't, in my opinion, Zubimendi doesn't have that running into him and the amount and the ability to cover the amount of field and distance that the Rice covers, because that, I think, is one of the key aspects why our midfield has been partially so solid to some extent. Because also if you have noticed that, in my opinion, Declan Rice in certain occasions covers up for Zubimendi for his lack of all insufficiencies in certain aspects of the game, in certain situations, in certain moments during the game, which obviously still raises some questions long term. Definitely raises some questions long term. I think Zubimendi should play box-to-box role and move Rice to the 6. We could try that, but then again, we need to adjust that box-to-box role. Definitely we need to adjust because Zubimendi cannot do that run. Zubimendi is misprofiled to be a CDM. He's not a number 6. Zubimendi is not out-and-out number 6. He's more of an 8. He's like a hybrid, basically. But hey, who will say that? Who will actually go there? Who will try something new? Obviously. Now, so we got through the first point, maintaining the level. We gonna go to the second point, which obviously, as I said, it's not such in any specific order, right? But for me, the second one, which is arguably one of the most important ones to a certain extent, is injuries. We need to get figure that shit out. Injuries at Arsenal is a big issue. Yes, people say that we have the best squad depth, the deepest squad in the league, and all this stuff. But at the same time, we have 7 players injured. There were points where we had pretty much all front 3 injured, besides Trossard, Gyökeres, and obviously and Saka at a certain stage, and everything. Madueke was there. We haven't had like a proper all front 3 with proper backups for them. We haven't had that as of yet fully. So for me, managing injuries, player management, rotations, players getting more game time that are on the bench definitely should be something Arsenal need to look at. Because over the years, we have seen players being rushed back, players being played through massive injuries, and that is on Mikel Arteta. Players say they cannot play, yet Mikel Arteta still puts them on the pitch to play, which is definitely a big issue, a big concern. And I think if we continue like this, overall, in the absence of things long term, definitely it is going to hurt us in the long run. It's already hurting us to some extent, let's be real, but it's going to hurt us even more very soon if we keep this up. It's going to hurt us even more if we keep this up. We are chaotic since the steed of galloping everywhere. Players play out of positions. They always play like that. Zubimendi versus Kimmich and Cancelo is a huge battle. Yeah, for me, the midfield is the biggest thing, because as soon as teams get very physical, very grinding type of teams, very high press, physical, grinding type of teams we play against us, we tend to screw up. We tend to fold. We saw that against Brighton. We saw that against Sunderland. We saw that against Newcastle. We saw that against Villa over the years, against City and Liverpool even over the years, also against Bayern Munich, and even to some extent against Chelsea. And Luton Town. Let's not forget that game where we barely scraped a win with Declan Rice last-minute goal. Like, it happens to Arsenal quite a bit, which is obviously a big concern if we are going to this, because hence why I also made a TikTok and YouTube short about the fact that Sunderland have shown the blueprint to a certain extent how to beat and Real Arsenal, and there's a possibility we will see more of that. So yeah, so we talked about maintaining the level, which was number one. Number two is injuries. Third one, which basically comes together with the first one, for me personally, is discipline. I think discipline overall, it's not the worst at Arsenal, but definitely there need to be improvements. We tend to give away unnecessary fouls, as we saw the foul we gave against Sunderland, which Sunderland scored from their own half. That was one of them. We get unnecessary reds like we did last year with Skelly at times and everything, Declan Rice, Trossard, all this stuff. And obviously giveaways. When we misplace passes, we pass them out of play, and everything for a throw-in. When Raya distributes the ball, he just hits it out and everything. I think that is another big issue. Also, the fact that we are not ready for the games. We saw that also. I know I'm using Sunderland as a big example, but you can see it against other teams just to a smaller scale to some extent. But we misplace simple passes. It's not like we misplace a 30-yard lob pass, overhit it, underhit it, and stuff like that. We actually misplace 5 feet passes, like simple passes, like feels like player is literally next to you, and we still overhit it, underhit it. We pass it straight into the opponent. We pass it out of the play and everything, and it is a big worry. Yeah, big up AJ. Big up AJ. Hope you're doing well. Hardest working mod in the community. Big up AJ. Yeah, people, listen to AJ. Subscribe if you're new and like the stream. 12 likes. Big up to you all. 12 likes. That is absolutely massive. Absolutely massive. Hopefully it goes up to like 20, maybe at some point. Because obviously I expect viewership not being great today, because it's not, because lots of big streamers are live. So we'll see how that's going to go. Is Caicedo world class? I think he's very close. If Chelsea, like, he has won the Club World Cup, he has won Conference League, he is arguably one of the most important players in the midfield / right back to some extent, even though Reece James is back at times for Chelsea. He plays for Ecuador. It will be interesting to see how he does for Ecuador. But overall, I don't think he's world class yet. But he can get there. He's not that far off, given how he plays, the way he plays, the abilities he has. It's going to be a wild comparison I'm going to put out right now to you all. But I think you will see some similarities. Caicedo kind of reminds me of N'Golo Kante. Now, the thing is, Kante had defensive presence. Caicedo has a bit less of it. But the thing about Kante is he didn't have as much offensive presence, and Caicedo has more offensive presence. He's like I don't want to say 2.0 version of Kante, but there's definitely something very similar about those two players, and they excel at certain things that the other one doesn't, and that makes them that good. Arsenal had a chance to sign Caicedo, and we didn't. We screwed it up. And I think signing Caicedo for Arsenal in this team actually could have been very, very important and very pivotal of how maybe our transfer business overall over the last few years would have been influenced if we actually got him. And looking at the team, how we are playing, the team we have right now, having Caicedo in that midfield actually would have been quite fantastic, to say the least. I think Caicedo would have been one of those key players in our midfield. Definitely would have been one of our key players in that midfield. And if I think right now, and I think, for example, midfield of Caicedo and of Caicedo and Declan Rice, that midfield has pace, it has legs, it has physicality, good ball distribution, and very good shot that they can provide defensive and attacking coverage. One is a bit taller, a bit more physical in Declan Rice. Other one's a bit more smaller, but more agile and more nimble. and much more like a bulldog, basically, in that midfield. And I think that actually could have been quite perfect combination for Arsenal's midfield, given how we play, which also maybe would have allowed us to maybe commit more players going forward in terms of play, in terms of things looking at it overall, if we are looking from that sense. Never thought we had good depth even at the end of the window. I mean, Norgard and Kinkapie were injured at the start of the season. As soon as they came back, we had a few more. And it's always like that with Arsenal. Few players come back, few players disappear. Pretty much our only additions that were Gyökeres and Eze. Imagine if we didn't sign them. It's not even running on fumes mode. It's raindrop settings. Oh, yeah. What do you think there? Why do you think there is a very few world-class players right now? I think it's a combination of things. These days, I would argue you see more athletes than technically gifted players, because players are feels like sometimes rush through academy quicker than they used to. They don't learn the craft as much. There is less street smart type footballers, because you don't also see kids right now playing outside. You don't see them playing football as much as, for example, as when I was at their age. Football in general at this stage of situations, I think, is in a phase of evolution, if you want to put it that way, that we see more athletes than actual footballers. If we used to have time where we saw actual dribblers, technically skilled players, maybe they were a bit less physical, but some others were quite heavy physical, right? Right now, we have, I think, overpopulation of very physical players, less technical, but more physical players. And I think it's going to balance each other out, because you don't see these technical players a lot these days. Hence why a player like Lamine Yamal looks heads above everyone else on the wing. Hence why, for example, a player like Neymar looks heads above everyone else. That's why Arsenal fans, including myself, are very excited about Max Daumann, because you don't see this every day. They do this game in, game out, and other players just don't. They are more of physicality, strength, having pace, and all this stuff. They don't have those technical abilities, the first touch, the ideal pass, and all this. They don't have those technical abilities as much as other players do. With Calafiori injured, which way do we go? Left back, Hincapie or MLS? Well, first things first, apparently Calafiori is going to be back for Arsenal for the Spurs game. But if he's not, I think we should go with Skelly. I would put that on him. Moise Caicedo is proper number 6, not Zubimendi, more like Zubidoo. Yeah, I will say it again. Our best midfield is Rice, Skelly, and Eze. Could be the case. Definitely could be the case. But will we ever see that? That is another question, because before Odegaard got injured, everyone wanted to see, including myself, I'm not going to lie, everyone wanted to see a midfield of Rice, Eze, and Odegaard. Right? And Odegaard got injured straight about 20-25 minutes into that game. And that all went down the shitter, obviously. And that happened at the most unfortunate time since it actually started to click a tiny bit, right? And I don't think we're going to see it again. Maybe we will, maybe we won't, but at the moment it's still under big question marks. Now the question, will we see Rice, Skelly, Eze midfield? I don't know. Genuinely don't know. Why has Odegaard stopped shooting? I have no idea. He shoots, but it looks hella weak. I'm not going to lie. Maybe the ankle is still bothering him or something like that. Maybe he has lost confidence. Maybe it's Arteta's settings, basically. Arteta has basically instructed them not to shoot. Because when Odegaard has taken a shot, it always has been a very dangerous shot as well. Because the prime example was last season. We always said, why Odegaard is not shooting? He has an open lane. Why is he not letting one go? And the game we played against PSG away, he had 2-3 shots from outside the box. And they all were hella dangerous shots, which forced basically Donnarumma in some mad saves. So for me, why our players don't shoot outside the box in general? It's not just Odegaard. It's most of the players. It's very, very weird, because Trossard took a chance and shot outside of the box. And he scored a worldie. Eze has scored and he shoots worldies. Saka tries that. Manieri sometimes tries that. But overall, we just don't execute it to the maximum extent. I think it's more about the ideal play, genuinely of the ideal play in those terms. It's more about the ideal play. Basically walking the ball in the empty net, what I mean by that. Xavi or Iniesta? One is more controlling, one is more attacking, right? Yes, the left wing, number 10, technically then relocates to 8. Xavi is more of a 6, 8, sorry, that controls and distributes the ball. I would go with Xavi. Personally, I would go with Xavi. But that's just my personal preference. Let's just put it that way. Anyways, we have talked about 3 topics of the 7. We have talked about maintaining the level, injuries, discipline. Let's move to the next one. And I think this is one of the key ones. It's the improvement of the attack, which I think is a very big talking point in Arsenal and for Arsenal fans in general. Because we score mostly from set pieces. Yes, we score from open play a bit more as well. But overall, you can see that the attack is not clicking to the full extent. The handbrake needs to come off. The attack needs to liven up. It needs to be leveled up as well because the left wing spot is still under huge and massive discussions. I don't assume only for Arsenal fans, but I think for the Arsenal internally as well. The attack definitely needs to be livened up. It needs to be more unpredictable, more chaotic. It has to have more pace. This attack is made to cause chaos. It has been made to cause chaos in the front lines. With Saka, with Eze, even Odegaard, with Gyökeres, with Martinelli, with Trossard. It's been built in a way, it's been made in a way that it's there to cause chaos, like in 22-23 season. Or like a PSG's attack did last year with Doué, Barcola, Kvaratskhelia, Dembele, Kangin Lee, and all these players. It's been there to cause chaos. But we genuinely play very controlled. Some people say it's controlled chaos because how Arsenal play is that they play very slowly, but they still try to cause that chaos. They still move around. It's very hard for defenders to keep their focus on player because he constantly moves. Then another player comes in, they switch around, they interchange, and 2-3 players just move around. And it's very hard to maintain focus and follow them all, obviously, right? At the same time, we are doing it very slowly, which to a certain extent doesn't require players, defensive players, to leave their positions to such a extent that it leaves too many open gaps, which is one of the biggest concerns. Because if we look back at 22-23 season, we were moving the ball so quickly, the play was happening so quickly, so openly, so with such agility and precision that defenders were all over the place half the time. And I think that is definitely missing, that chaos, which is not controlled chaos, but where it's maintained chaos, where chaos is about to basically unravel. We need something like that in the attack, in my opinion. Some Gooners are saying if we lose Rice, therefore losing the set plays, Arteta will just attack like 22-23. Well, I mean, if he needs to lose Rice to start playing that begs the question, why is he even here? Because we can play this type of football even with Rice, but why is he refusing to play it without them? To that extent, definitely, in my opinion, it is BS. Definitely, it is BS if you're looking at it from that point of view. Moving on to the next one, which is something our team definitely doesn't do well, including our manager, I'm not gonna lie, is pressure. And what I talk about is about surviving tough times, experience in winning big games, winning trophies, and about maturing and basically being not afraid anymore, being courageous, having the courage to basically go on the front foot. Let's just put it that way. Because that is one of the biggest issues for Arsenal mentally for me. I definitely believe for Arsenal there is a mental block. And not just for Arsenal as a player, but for manager as well. Because whenever we have had these key moments where it's a must win, when we have been basically inches away from winning it, we always fold. We did that in Arteta's third season when we balled top 4. We should have been 4th, but we basically finished 5th. We bought the league when we were 8 points clear. We bought the league last year before. Last year, I cannot say as much, but we kind of also I think we got burnt out against PSG mentally. I think because we haven't been in those spots too much, and if you have not been in certain situations, you don't know how to react. You don't know what to do because Arteta's record in semi-finals alone in cup competition since winning the FA Cup is nothing more than abysmal. We have played 8 games, we have 2 draws and 6 losses. No wins and only 2 or 3 goals scored, which overall just shows that this team mentally is not prepared to go in this warfare. Because football is as physical as it can be, it's also a big mental game. And these players, since they have not won it, haven't won much as a unit, well, pretty much at all, as a unit collectively, as a team, right? Especially when I'm talking about the players who have been here the longest. They don't know what it takes. They don't know how it is. They don't know how it feels to lose a final. They don't know what it takes to win a final, how it feels like after winning the final, how it feels like after lifting the trophy and all this stuff. It definitely, for me, is a mental block, which basically is that pressure situation. And we have seen what Mikel Arteta does under the pressure. He freezes. He has this deer in headlights look. He doesn't know what to do. He just stands there and instantly, and the eyes are just going everywhere. He doesn't know who to talk to, who to sub on, who to take off, what to say to AirPod Albert, what to say to Jover, what to say to his assistants. He instantly disappears. He freezes. He panics. It genuinely goes all over the place. And I think it's for both mentally, for players and the manager. And I think this pressure situation definitely, the mental block is definitely affecting them. Definitely. The moment City overtake us, they walk the league. There is a big possibility of that. I'm unfortunately, that is the case. 14 likes. Big up to you all, people. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please do it. Please do it. 15 likes is the target for now. And subscribe. We are 18 subs away from 1,000. Skelly should be our Rice replacement. He is capable of doing it. Skelly, by default, is a midfielder. Exactly. Skelly's natural position is the 8. He plays left back because Arteta envisions him there. And, well, he wants to invert, which means he needs a midfielder who can invert, which means Skelly plays there at the end of the day. Calafiori, for example, he plays left back for Arsenal. What do Arsenal do with left backs? Most of the time, invert and push forward. Calafiori, when he was growing up, used to be a striker, which means he's more experienced in that role to push himself up at the striker role, because it's not a surprise that it feels like he has the ultimate freedom. You see him at striker, at a 6 and an 8, left wing, right back, left back. You see him in every position of the pitch. And sometimes when you pay just attention, not to the ball where it's going, but to where Calafiori stands, there was a time where he was standing pretty much with 2 defenders right apart. He was standing next to Gyökeres. He was at striker. And that, for me, is a big thing. And having Skelly in the midfield next to Rice, for example, Rice in the 6, Skelly in the 8, definitely would give Arsenal more options. Arteta still hasn't replaced Granit Xhaka, let's be real. He needs that left-footed number 8 on that left side. And he hasn't replaced. He's trying to play Rice there, but Rice is obviously doing to the best of his abilities. But you can see that in certain aspects of the game, he's still lacking technical ability, physical ability, which actually Skelly, interestingly enough, excels at. That is the nuts part. Lego head settings, yeah. No, he cannot be on the right job, simple as that. Well, big up Marlon, Arteta out. Well, who would have guessed that he's going to say that? Skelly is a defensive and central midfielder. For me, he's an 8. He definitely is an 8. 8-6. But given how he can play, how he can carry the ball, and the technical ability he possesses, I would play him in the 8 because he can carry the ball. He can get by 3-4 defenders. He has shown it before as well. He showed that against Atletico Madrid for that Martinelli goal. He showed that to the maximum extent. So definitely there is a talk about that. And Sixth and seventh point combined, I'm going to combine them both into one, is, well, the manager. The sixth and seventh point is the manager. People will cuss me for this, but yeah, Arteta needs to improve. He needs to get better. He needs to be open to change mid-game with tactics, with style, with players. He needs to learn to adapt. He needs to have multiple ideas for the game. If one plan doesn't work, have plan B, plan C, plan D. Because so far, he's going into his 7th year in a month. And he's still making the same mistakes he made day one. That is the nuts part. With the in-game management, substitutions, with styles and systems and everything, it definitely is a massive, massive worry. So yeah, ultimately, in the short terms, those are my 7 points that, in my opinion, need to change and improve. If Arsenal fix them, Arsenal could win big. And I will name those once again. Maintain the level in terms of playing level, injuries, player management, discipline, fouls, giveaways, cards, and everything. Improve attack. Let the handbrake off. Level up the attack. Liven up the attack and everything. Deal with pressure, because we know that is an issue. And the 6th and 7th are combined. It's the manager. Let me know what you think about them in the chat as well, ultimately, on top of that. Skelly is plus he can make runs into space and pass in the box. Yeah, exactly. To the striker or left wing, exactly. And he's left-footed as well, which Arteta needs on that left side. Definitely, that would be the best case scenario, but it doesn't look like Arteta wants to. Doesn't definitely feel and look like Arteta wants to play a Skelly in the left 8, unfortunately. Maybe in some cup games, but in Premier League, I don't think so. And the other thing about Skelly is, right, what has he done? Seriously, what has Skelly done to Arsenal, to Arteta, that basically grants him sitting on the bench continuously all the time with almost no game time? Literally. With almost no game time. Because Miles Lewis-Skelly this season in Premier League has played 86 minutes. I kid you not. This season in Premier League, he has played 86 minutes. I'm going to share this because you may think I'm capping. I'm pulling numbers out of my own ass, but I'm not. Only 86 minutes. 18 against United, 26 against Leeds, nothing against Liverpool, 22 against Forest, nothing against City, 2 against Newcastle, 15 against West Ham, nothing against Fulham, 2 against Palace, 1 minute against Burnley, and no minutes against Sunderland. He has played 86 minutes overall. Yes, in Carabao Cup, he has played 2 90s. And he has gotten 2 assists, ironically enough. And in Champions League, he has played also 2 90s, 1 17-minute game. And he has played and gotten an assist. But in Premier League, it is actually insane. 86 minutes over 7 games. That's 14 minutes a game per average, if you want to count it that way. And that is the guy last year who carried us throughout the whole season while Scalafiori was sleeping in the hospital all the time. He was being called up to England national team. Whole Arsenal fan base were just praising him, carrying him on their shoulders, painting murals, statues, whatever you want, and saying that he is the next big thing and he should remain as a left back. This season, we don't see him pretty much at all. What has he done? What has he done? He will be used, don't worry. It's only 11 games, and second half of the season mostly. It's only 11 games, you know. Only 11. Plus, he's young. Don't want to overuse him. Last season, that wasn't an issue, right? Last season, that wasn't an issue that he's too young. Don't want to overuse him. Last season, that was not an issue. He was the best thing since sliced bread. This season, it is an issue. Come on, man. Last season, that was not an issue. This season, it's a massive, massive issue all of a sudden. See, last 23 games, 1,371 minutes. Like, come on. This season, yeah, it's not great. Definitely not great. Have we only, like, wait, hold on. 7 games in Premier League. Seriously? So little games have been played. Holy crap. 11 games in Premier League. 11 games have been played in Premier League. 86 minutes. He has played 8 minutes on average per game. He has participated in 7 of those games. Didn't play against City. Didn't play against Liverpool. Didn't play against Fulham. Didn't play against Sunderland. Holy crap. But he was the next big thing. He was the one. He was the chosen one. Yeah, because technically he had Tierney to play, he had Kivior to play, he had Zinchenko to play, and he purposely chose not to use none of them. Zinchenko is out of the club. He barely played at times. Kivior, he afterwards, when Gabriel got injured, played him as a center back. Before that, he was playing at times at left back. And Tierney, he just purposely didn't play. Tierney got more action as a left winger and even right back than he got at left back. He had perfectly good left back in the team, a proper left back, not a makeshift jack of all trades type of left back. And he still refused to play him. Like, it's actually insane. For me, it's actually insane to say the least in that regard. I'm not gonna lie. But hey, I guess I'm just toxic. I'm just negative. I have an agenda and everything. Right? I'm the wrong one here. I am the wrong one here. Let's see. What else? Let me quickly go by because I have some stuff. I still have some stuff to talk about. Yeah, it's not looking great, Skelly. 7 appearances out of 11 games, 86 minutes, 1 interception, 1 tackle, 1 yellow card. Yeah, he's not getting any game time in Premier League as of yet. Let's be real. Wait. Give me a sec. No, where is it? Where is it? 24, 25. Yeah, here it is. 06, 25, 11. Yeah. Hamstring injury and season. Yeah. I see. None of those fit what we wanted to. Tierney always sick. I'm not hearing that. Kivior was central defender. Hold on. Where is it? Tierney. Okay. Let's see. Tierney always sick. Where? Tierney last time was sick was when he basically he was injured since June 19th till 25th of November last year. After that, he was not injured whatsoever. And Arteta did not play him at all. He was available for over half a season and Arteta didn't play him. He came back. He was good since 25-11. Yeah, he was on loan. He came back. Why we didn't play him? He was here. He played right wing. Here it is. Kieran Tierney. He came back 23-11. Hamstring injury. Last time. On the bench, 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 on the bench. Left back, 13 minutes. On the bench, 3 minutes, 1 minute. Left back, half a game, 14 minutes as a left mid. 15 minutes, 62, 17, 14. On the bench, 12, 2, and played as a center back for a game and scored a goal then. He was available. He was just on the bench for most of the time. His injuries ended here. He was available. He didn't play. Tierney did miss a lot. There was a massive... Yeah, before 2025. Yeah, but he came back on 25th of November 2024. So basically, he had more than half a season to play, and he was just sitting on the bench. Big up, coach. Big up, coach. What do you mean forget what? Forget what? We're just discussing Miles Lewis Skelly. Last year, he was the golden boy. This year, he's a trash bag. Basically, that's what it is. And I don't mean performances. I mean how he's being treated. I mean more than how he's been treated. Tierney, Wilshere, Diaby, Nelson, Eddie. So many players flopped, like Sambi and Dani Ceballos. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even gonna answer to that. Seriously. Not even gonna answer that. Wanyeri. Yeah, Wanyeri as well played quite a bit and doesn't play at all almost this season. It's insane. Lokonga and his hamstrings, that's a different story. I'm not gonna lie. Lokonga and his hamstring injuries, that is something different. How is Lokonga even doing on loan? I want to see how is this going, or has he been sold? I forgot because these players. Oh, we sold him for 300 grand. Right. Injuries played a part in Jack and Diaby, definitely. Yeah, as well, definitely. Tierney carried us as well in the FA Cup as well for Arteta on that left side, if I'm not mistaken. Wait, where is it? Let me check. He was lobbing over the top ball to Aubameyang as well. I remember that against City vividly, to be honest. 1920, right? 1920 squad. The FA Cup 1920 squad. Tierney played a big part, I think, in that as well, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, they were ruined by injuries. Diaby, Wilshere, there's no argument about that. Calafiori 1-on-1, that is nightmare just waiting to happen for me. If offensively he has some uses, let's just put it that way, he has been also actually decent. Defensively, oh God help us all. I'm not gonna lie. Defensively, 1-on-1, that is definitely a big issue. Yeah, Tierney played center back in the semifinal against Man City, where we won 2-0. In the final against Chelsea, Tierney played also center back. He was one of those guys. He carried us in that FA Cup. That Sheffield United quarterfinals as well. Tierney played left mid, left wing back. Tierney was very available. He was one of the key reasons why we actually won that FA Cup as well. Ceballos did well when he went back to Madrid. Ceballos at Madrid, he was one of their key players at certain parts of the season, to be honest, in the last years as well. He was very good for them, and he won a lot as well. Lokonga and Guendouzi would have been lit if coached well at the time. Yeah, Guendouzi could have been actually fantastic if he was coached properly. Yes, there were some attitude issues allegedly and everything, definitely. Martinelli as well. Why we are not using him more as a striker also is a big question mark, to be honest. Spinning top in midfield, Ceballos. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Sounds really familiar. Alex Song was decent, yeah, definitely, but hey, that's a different story. How is Lokonga doing at Hamburg, by the way? 7 games, 2 goals. Nothing unique. Has played 412 minutes, actually. Played 15, 16. Oh, in the last few games, he's played full 90s as well. In draw against Borussia Dortmund, in a loss against Köln, 76 minutes against and he scored a goal. He scored a goal against Mainz in the win as well. So he's not doing that bad, actually. He's not doing that bad. Who else is on loan? Reece Nelson. That probably is going to be a painful one. I'm not going to lie. Wait, give me a sec. Let me check quickly. Reece Nelson, where is he? That must be a painful one to watch. Reece, so fuck. 2 games in Premier League, 2 games in Carabao Cup. He was injured as well for a bit, wasn't he? At the moment, he's on loan there. Yeah, 2 games because he was injured and on the bench. Reece Nelson, he played right wing in 1 minute, dude. He played 68 minutes against Grimsby Town, scored a goal and assist, kind of found his level to some extent. Chose Kelly in mid, Gubby as a striker. Yeah, exactly. 7 games and 2 goals as a 6, not bad. Yeah, definitely. Mini loan watch, but the Arsenal have such shit players on loan, it's actually painful to watch, to be honest. Fabio Vieira, where is he? He's not doing much probably there. Fabio Vieira, Hamburger Sportverein. Oh, this is going to be painful to watch, innit? Oh, bloody hell. Fabio Vieira on loan at Hamburg. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, this is low-key painful to watch. I do disagree about Guendouzi. Never liked the guy. Bootleg Rabiot with anger issues. Like Torreira, though, but somehow got misused by Emery. I like Guendouzi. I really like Guendouzi. At the time, he was one of the most... Under Emery, Guendouzi was one of the hottest midfielders, young midfielders in Europe. And after that, somehow it just went downhill. Emery lost the dressing room. He started to hang out with the wrong crowd, I guess. Arteta, he pissed off Arteta, and we know how that goes when you piss off Arteta. Relax, you're not 12. Why to talk about Calafiori? He is a liability. Defensively, in my opinion, Calafiori is a liability. In the last few games, he has stayed back a bit more. I will give him that. He was decent against Burnley. He was decent against Palace, so he doesn't allow Sarr to counter us. But overall, when he pushes forward, many times he gets caught out. It looks like maybe in the last few games, Arteta has addressed it. I will give him credit to that, at least for now. How it's going to go forward, I don't know. But ultimately, for now, I still don't believe in Calafiori's defensive abilities. For more, he's more a center back than a left back, no matter how you want to look at it, no matter how you want to push that. So we'll see how that's going to go. But for me, Calafiori defensively is still not great. Definitely could have done much better for 45 million as a left back. But yeah, big up Claire. Big up Claire. Hope you're doing well today. Hope your ramen noodles were nice and everything. Hope you're feeling full after that meal and all that stuff, of course. Relax. We don't do that here. But yeah, this is Fabio Vieira's stats at Hamburg. He played 76 minutes against Bayern, which is kind of nuts. He assisted against Heidenheim. Got a red card, lol, for against Union Berlin in a draw. Then missed 2 games, straight red as well, mind you. Then he played 26 in the last. Then he got 2 yellows again against Köln, and then he didn't play against Borussia Dortmund. It's insane. 10 games in Bundesliga have been played. Well, what, 10? No, not 10. 10. Well, 3? Wait, hold on. Yeah, 3. 8 games. 8 games that Fabio Vieira has been at Hamburg for the games, and he has gone 3 reds. Well, 2 reds already. It's not encouraging, is it? Definitely not encouraging, especially given that he's on loan, and we have to hope that somebody is going to buy this Giza. It's definitely not great. Definitely not great. And that's what I mean. That's the thing. If he stays back, we look more solid. He looks somewhat decent, actually. That's what I was saying. Against Palace, it was like that. Against Burnley, partially, it was like that. Against Sunderland, I just put it that. Although, yeah, he played against those teams and he was actually decent. But overall, he goes forward so far. He gets caught out very many times. Quite a bit. And it costs us because we are always on back foot on counters. That side gets exploited heavily. Then he does the silly fouls because he lost his man. Yeah, he gets spun quite easily for me personally. He does the foul. He has the yellows already picked up. I think he's 1 or 2 yellows away from getting a match suspension as well and everything. It's not great. It definitely is not great. We must buy Estevao and Maino. Just relax. Relax. As much as I like Estevao and everything, and Maino I would take at Arsenal, I don't want to buy Chelsea players anymore. Sick and tired of this crap. Big up Claire. Big up Claire for the silver sticker. Big up Claire. Big up, big up, big up, big up, big up. Much appreciated. Much appreciated from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And once again, thank you. Big up to you. Hope your evening is going well, and hopefully tomorrow goes well for you as well. Who else is on loan on Arsenal? Zinchenko. Well, that's going to be fun. Alexander Zinchenko. On loan at Nottingham Forest at the moment, injured. A hip injury as well, just like Calafiori, by the way, ironically enough. Let's see how he does. Obviously, it's just a visual overall. In Europa League, didn't play 2 games, played 2 games. Against Porto, to be honest, he beat Kivior. That is a level and a half. In Premier League, he played 3 games. Not great. And they lost to Swansea. I remember that game. He played full 90. They lost that game. That was Ange Postecoglou's situation, where they, in this game specifically, Forest were winning 2-1 in the 90th minute. And then Swansea scored 2 goals and they lost. It is actually insane, to say the least. But yeah, Zinchenko, I don't think we're gonna sell him. Zinchenko's contract runs out at the end of this season as well, which means most likely we are not going to sell him, and he is going to leave for free. For me, Zinchenko is a big problem. Money wasted to some extent. Big up, Claire. That's for Calafiori. Big up, Claire. Much appreciated. Damn. You go, girl. Thank you. That's for poor Calafiori. To be honest, like, why not? I can get him some carrots for that. Like a stallion, he loves to snack on things. Maybe a carrot will help him. You know? Why not buy Chelsea stars for once, not rejects? Because Chelsea won't sell their stars to Arsenal. That's the thing. If we were such bad men, go to Chelsea, sign Cole Palmer, for example. Last year, 2 years ago. Go sign their big players. We never do that. Ever. They take big players from us. We don't get their big players. We get their rejects. And we have seen how that has gone over the years for Arsenal. Very inspiring, to say the least. Very inspiring. Can we do a stream of the Arsenal Academy? Who is in your B-side on 23? I don't even follow the youngsters that much. I actually cannot give the opinion. I check the results. I follow a few players, but overall, I am not that I'm not that deep educated in Arsenal under 23s, under 21s, and all these teams. Seriously. Calafiori doesn't just push back in the left wing. He pushes in striker, sometimes at right wing. He pushes up everywhere. With Calafiori, he goes all across the pitch for me. That's the nuts part. There was a game, I remember which one it was, but he was at right wing for about 5 minutes almost. Like, that is for me nuts. Oh, Claire. Oh, come on. Big up. 2 more pounds. Thank you so much. Claire is in a good mood today. Olise assisted yesterday or scored. Must have been. Seriously. 100% Olise scored or assisted like 3 goals yesterday. That's why she's in such a good mood. Where is it? France versus Ukraine. 4-0. Yep, Olise scored. Olise scored yesterday. I knew it. I gotcha. But yeah, thank you from Bob, my heart. Thank you so much. Anush, yeah, I get it's Anush and all these guys, but yeah. Definitely. He scored and Mbappe stole his penalty. See? Mbappe stole his penalty, you know. They get it. At least he scored. Can you go talk to Olise? Maybe we can do a swap deal, Odegaard for Olise or something like that. Maybe that could work out for us. Maybe, just maybe. Andrew's not happy. With what? What happened? Oh, he's Ukrainian. Never mind. I take it back. I understood my errors here. I understood my wording and errors. Do you think Porto are going to buy Kivior? Serious talk. Do you think Porto are going to buy Kivior? Since he's on loan at the moment, if I'm not mistaken. Do you think Porto are going to buy Kivior? Or is it like... Oh, it's a mandatory purchase price. It's a mandatory purchase, so never mind. I generally thought he's an option. No, he's mandatory purchase price. Damn. 17 million as well, that's not a lot. Like 17 plus 2, that's what, 19 million euros. It can go up to 26, but I don't think that's not going to happen. Yeah, it's with obligation. Yeah, I saw it. International games are boring, I'm not going to lie. Especially like at the moment, sir. To be honest, Ireland's game against Portugal was fantastic yesterday. Ireland won 2-0. Ronaldo gets a red card and all this stuff. That was nice. That was fun. But overall, yeah, international games are a snorefest. I don't know. I don't want Arteta to turn him into Martinelli. Maybe if he gets like, at least you're giving us a chance. And hope that if he gets sacked, you will go to talk to him. So fingers crossed, maybe we can get Olise at Arsenal. And Olise at Arsenal actually would be fantastic to see as well. Even though he's a Chelsea fan, would be nice to see, I'm not gonna lie. Definitely would be nice to see. Do Arsenal have any other players out on loan? Like the big ones? Or is it just those ones we just looked at? In Skelly. Yeah, it's nothing else. Nothing else. Arsenal don't have many loans, do they? Kivior, Nuno Tavares sold. Tomiyasu. Yeah, it's not great. We don't have that many loans out. And the nuts part is, if we look at the people that we have left on loan, it's championship level, isn't it? The loans are championship level. Karl Hein, Reece Nelson, Fabio Vieira, Zinchenko. Like, it's not great, is it? Definitely not great. It's just actually a painful one. Definitely a painful one. But yeah, people, I think on that note, I'm going to end today's stream. We have talked about it. We have discussed it. We have discussed the 7 fixes that could change Arsenal's season if that happens. Big up to Claire. Big up to Claire for being with such a generous heart. Big up to you. Much appreciated from bottom of my heart. Your and everything. So thank you so much. So much. Considering the quantity, consistency, and length of our injuries, you might say we have a lot of loans. Basically, it's like a new signing. As Wenger said when Danny Welbeck came back from injury in what? When was it? In January? Oh, it's like a new signing. Basically, that's what it feels like sometimes. In the hospital bed, yeah. Have a good night to you too. Have a good night to you as well. But yeah, big up, people. Thank you so much for joining. Have a nice evening. Enjoy your Friday. Hopefully gonna see you all tomorrow. See what tomorrow brings. But for today, I am signing off. Peace.